cloud?
Cloud computing can be very hard to define. Cloud computing consists of the idea of relying on web-based applications and the ability to store data in the cloud of the internet. In technical terms, cloud computing is a way to deliver computing requirements as a service to a heterogeneous community of end recipients. Over the last few years, cloud computing has grown immensely, from just a thought to one of the fastest growing portions in information technology. We will be discussing cloud computing and the service it brings. Cloud computing is changing the way industries and the enterprise work and also how virtual resources are providing a service over the internet. Cloud computing allows access to personal resources, which can be everything or anything from your address book to your music collection to your reports, and it also includes documents from work. In other words, personal cloud computing means having every piece of data you need for every aspect of your life at the fingertips whenever you need. Now that you know a little background information, Funsher will tell you about the past history of cloud computing and where the future lies.
Maybe in the past, scientists did not know they were specifically talking about cloud computing, but the theory was definitely touched upon in the 1950s. Grudge touched upon an entire world of cloud being powered and controlled by 15 large data centers. Also in 1960, John McCarthy wrote that cloud computation may someday be formed as a public utility. He also suggested in a speech at MIT that computing can be sold like a utility. Furthermore, around the 90s, the idea of grid computing made computers easy to access as an electric grid, which later contributed to cloud computing. The general idea was derived from telecommunication companies that made radical shift from point-to-point data circuit to visual private network service in 1990. Also in the 90s, Salesforce.com introduced the idea of delivering enterprise applications via simple website. Next was Amazon, launching Amazon Web Service in year 2002, followed by Google Docs in 2006, which brought out cloud computing to the public. According to Sawyer Biswas, Amazon Elastic Compute was introduced in 2006, which gave companies and individuals the opportunity to rent computers that run on their own computer application. Now that we know the history, I'll talk about the possible future of cloud computing, just to show you the growth revenue for cloud computing. In 2009, it was concluded that 58.6 billion will, will contribute to cloud computing. By the year 2011, the spending in IT was evaluated to be above 2.6 trillion, of which cloud computing accounts for only 2.3% of global market. Gartner Project, a research firm, says that cloud services will approach 152.1 billion in 2014. In the year 2015, CenturyLinks predict that there will be increase in the amount of data being created and replicated. By the time all these data are created, it will both need to be securely and allowed for end user to access efficiently. Next, Lee will touch on the different approaches.
There are three different basic models and approaches: infrastructure as a service, IaaS, platform as a service, PaaS, and software as a service, SaaS. First, the SaaS model deals mostly with managing applications. Cloud providers have the ability to operate applications within a cloud. SaaS applications are assessed over the internet and may be charged on a subscription basis. An example of this would be a Dropbox.com, where users can go and use the application as a way to have online storage or backup. Infrastructure as a service, IaaS, delivers the infrastructure. Vendors will deliver a virtualization environment. It allows vendors to build utility storage and utility usage. They may rent hardware servers, load balancers, rent firewalls, or rent the network equipment. This vendor approach is called infrastructure as a service because users rent the infrastructure. According to cloudtweaks.com, this is generally used by organizations that have the in-house expertise to manage their IT requirements but don't actually have the infrastructure. They then hire the required infrastructure from IaaS providers and load up their libraries, applications, and data, after which they configure them themselves. Platforms as a service, PaaS, allows users to rent platforms. Software developers can build these applications or extend existing ones without the cost of buying and managing new hardware and software.
Next is the application of cloud computing. As we all know, cloud computing application are accessible via browser, making them multi-platform and enabling more workforce. Cloud computing is somewhat immeasurable. This is because as of today, program execution is done with middleware which could normally be done by computers. Users are able to run programs and store data with another computer through cloud computing. Also, it has given room for open sources applications available for personal and business computing, and they are listed as backup. There's an application called Amanda. It's a popular backup system that works on multiple platforms, followed by accounting. On accounting, we have an application called Freebook, which web-based account for small businesses. Business intelligence, an application for business intelligence is called Jasper Software, which is the world's most widely used business intelligence software. The last one is cloud infrastructure. There's an application called OpenStack which allows building two separate cloud technology which provide technology necessary to set up a cloud environment and object storage.
Next, I'm going to be talking about the issues of cloud computing. The most common issue at hand that is involved in cloud computing as of today is security. In the aspect of security, most companies may be wary of cloud computing because they can't have their private files physically under lock and key. Traditionally, computing can be made more secure than cloud-based computing systems. With that said, hackers have been breaking into traditional computing systems for years now, and cloud computing offers something hackers have never dealt with before. Another issue facing cloud computing is privacy. All companies will need to increase privacy through ways like authentication checks, private information storage checks on the cloud, and they also have the potential, they have to know that there's the potential that files will be seen by unwanted eyes. This is a reality that consumers must accept with today's technologies, making sharing information easier every day.
There are various advantages of cloud computing, but the most important of them are remote accessibility, which is which there is a restriction in business to specific location and cloud computing. This also applies to individual users too. Most users are able to access the services anywhere with a requirement of ID and password. The next one is easy expansion, which is one of the best advantage of cloud computing, allowing reallocation of resources, which which is one of the best characteristics of cloud computing because resources can be accessed faster in case business needs to be spread out. Also, no need for excessive cloud infrastructures. All that is needed is to inform cloud provider about requirements that will be made available for resources to be allocated.
As far as cloud deployment goes, each Each company picks their deployment based on their own demands. The first type of deployment is the private cloud, which can be managed by the company or third party. The infrastructure of private clouds are managed and operated entirely to keep consistent level of security, privacy, and governance control. Next, community cloud refers to the sharing and managing of cloud computing environment by several companies sharing demands and also sharing infrastructure. Although it is more expensive, and spread over a few users in a public cloud, it offers a higher level of privacy, security, and policy compliance. In addition, it can be managed by a company or a third party. Next, the public cloud is also called a multi-tenant cloud, where cloud vendors own the cloud infrastructure and is accessible to the general public or larger groups. This is a self-service basis over the internet. Next, the hybrid cloud includes all of them. The multiple cloud includes private, community, and public, which is the normal cloud deployment type for most enterprises. The advantage of the hybrid is that it is low cost in the public cloud. It is more low cost in the public cloud without disclosing applications and data to a third party. Users can avoid the difficulty of the transition to the public by integrating multiple clouds.
Now we explain on the vocabulary. First, cloud clients are users accessing cloud computing using network client device such as desktop, computer, laptop. Next, cloud provider. A service provider offers customer storage or software services available via private cloud. Computing infrastructure is the physical hardware used to interconnect computers and users.
In conclusion, cloud computing is all around us. It's our job to see what we can do with it. Also, it is associated with many different uses and risks. We have gotten the knowledge of how the multiple benefits of cloud computing brings, and we also understand the security issues it poses. In addition, cloud computing has drastically altered everyone's perception and infrastructure architecture, software and delivery. Although it's one of the most emerging technologies in the area, it is reliable and the security issues are diminishing. There's much of cloud computing that is yet to be explored.
Thank you.